Did you know that the United States has recorded at least 350 different languages that are used on a daily basis? If you're like me, you only know English and the Spanish that you've learned back in high school. But what happens when you travel to a different continent and don't know anything about a country's language or culture? Depending on how much someone travels, there's a certain amount of cultural difference due to differing languages. Using simple skills such as active voice, passive voice, bypassing communication, and powerful language will help you communicate even if there is a common language barrier between the two cultures or languages. The first problem is language always isn't a common factor. When traveling to different countries, culture can be very different and not offer any clues as to what's being communicated. There are many different cultures that may have cues or signs as to what is being communicated, like signs of respect or unacceptable behaviors that can act as common language barriers. Lack of communication or understanding, known as bypassing communication, can be harmful to potential relationships and opportunities. The website Forbes states that bypassing communication is the leading to yourself of a physical cliff. That can mean that you are cornering yourself to only make miscommunications. Using different tones in your dialect can be a useful tool for getting past language barriers. The next part is the solution. The main thing you can do is take confidence in your communication and don't be afraid to ask for clarification when necessary. Communicating with others can be very scary when you are in a place that is completely foreign and you have no idea what others are saying to you. Using different tones while communicating things between language barriers can help give a clue as to what you're trying to say. In Tanzanian culture, which is where I'm currently at, dining is very different and can be a bit confusing if you do not speak Swahili. The hostesses are very active in taking drinks and food that you may not be done with. A few of the gestures that you can make are putting your hand over the food, saying, "Yes, I'm done," and using your active and passive voice to say yes or no. Using universal hand gestures are a big part of communicating and can be crucial when showing what you're trying to say. Although you may think that there may never be a situation like this that you'll fall into, let me give a few examples of situations that may come up. In the USA, there are many different language barriers that are often common. First, there are many people in the United States that have disorders which don't allow them to communicate like others do. One of these would be deafness, muteness, autism, and other special needs where they are not able to communicate as normally as others do. These tools will help to show what you're trying to say without them fully understanding, but being able to use context clues to make their understandings. Second, there are many different languages and cultures all around the United States. This is because our nation is known to be of immigrants, and that's how we started as a nation. So there are still many different cultures that are coming in, and people who participate in these cultures may not speak the same language, but they may use the same universal terms or gestures. Finally, if you're able, you should visit a different country and be immersed in the cultures of a different continent. Learning respect for different cultures and what they value can greatly impact your life as well as others. This means that you can learn more respect and different tools to communicate with others. Hopefully, I've convinced you to look at language barriers in a different way that will impact your life and others. I have told you how to properly approach language barriers and offered some tools to get you past them. I also try to resolve any doubts you may have about this, how this might not affect you. So just remember that we all speak the language of humanity and to be kind to one another and reach out to one another. Thanks.